Hi, my name is Ramez Helou. I'm founder of the Academy for Sales Excellence and professor of sales and leadership at Halt International Business School. Together with me, I have Phil Bedford, who is the author of the #1 bestseller called Kiss the Rebel.
Correct.
And also founder and co-founder and master franchisee of Ascentive right here in the Middle East.
Thank you, Ramez. Lovely to be here, mate.
Yeah? How's it going?
Fantastic.
All right, so we have a story for you today, and maybe that you might think is how come the two of us are together. Let's just share that little bit of a story for you. Phil, why don't you start?
Yeah, you do kind of wonder how come there's two experts working together in the same space.
Yeah.
And actually, I think the best way of explaining why we're doing this is to look at a part of my journey. And I think it's a question to you, really. Have you ever presented your product or service to a client, known that you can absolutely make a difference, but for some reason they've chosen not to go with you? Now, this happened to me over the years a number of times, and I've often bumped into those people a year or so down the line and said, "Oh, how's it going?" And they're like, "You know what? I went out of business. You know what? This didn't work." And it kind of breaks your heart at the end of the day, because you know you can make a difference, but you feel in a funny way like you failed them. And what I realized was, I just wish I was a better closer. So I was getting in front of people, I had the product, but sometimes I didn't have that ability to get the client to see the benefit I could give them. So what they might call in sales, closing. And so I said, you know what, I'm not serving my clients because I'm not able to work with them. So it became very apparent to me that even though I was getting in front of clients through all my marketing skills, sometimes I just needed that extra skill. And so I thought, you know, I've got to go and see Ramez. So I did a 2-day workshop with Ramez, and it changed the way that I was able to engage with my clients. I was able to work with more clients. And the best thing was, I paid for it with one conversation.
Amazing. I'll tell you, Phil, there is no magic pill. Don't think there's any magical pill out there. There are some principles. I know this from experience. I've been in sales for more than 28 years. And, you know, a matter of fact is 20% of your customers will never buy from you, no matter what you do. And 20% of them will always buy, you know, no matter how bad you are. You know, you'll still get some. But then the sweet spot is what happened to that 60%, and that's what Phil is talking about, is how can we take those in between individuals and, you know, I'd say find a way to match what is it that we're offering with their needs and make them comfortable in making that buying decision. I'll tell you, my story in terms of getting to meet Phil and work with Phil is the exact opposite. You see, I was very fortunate to actually meet Phil before I started my business almost 8 years ago in 2010. And I remember sitting in one of his workshops thinking, before going to the workshop thinking, you know, I've been in direct sales since I was 19, back from 1989, yeah? So I've been selling for more than 28 years. I know how to prospect, present, close, ask for referrals, and start the whole cycle again. What am I really doing in such a, you know, in a workshop where it's about generating referrals and finding ways to build your pipeline? I was like, I know how to do that. But when I sat and I got to understand the concepts that you shared with me at the time, there was a light bulb moment for me, because I realized that as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, one of the challenges that I would face, I was fortunate to foresee the future, is what we call the yo-yo effect. Because in my business, when I am speaking or training, I am not business developing. And when I'm business developing, I am not speaking or training. And some of the ideas I got with Phil is, how can people other than myself be selling on my behalf? So in a way, having a bigger, larger, more predictable pipeline or a source of what we call the golden geese, finding these opportunities where people are referring business to me, helping put more clients in my path, so that I can then do my art. I can share with them you know, my passion, which is help them make more sales and succeed.
You know, Ramez, and I think the most amazing, probably the most powerful thing about what we're bringing together here is, while this can often be a pipeline for the future, a lot of the strategies that you bring to the table, and by the way, a lot of the stuff you do yourself in terms of networking, referrals, all this, a lot of this can be very now business. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people don't realize that. I think it's often a long time. It can be really, really now.
I'll even build on that, talking about the Now business. When I joined and worked with you, during the course, so it was a longer program, and within the first 3 weeks, I also recovered whatever investment I had put down. And maybe the question I have here for the audience is this something that, sounds familiar to you? And maybe around this time of the year, you're thinking, how can we not stress over finishing the year strong? How can we not stress over hitting our targets? And maybe if you have a little bit of pressure, you're a little bit underperforming, can I actually take ideas and apply them and be able to get additional business this year, and then take the strategies and utilize them in the future? And the answer is absolutely. This is why together with Phil, we have decided to, I'm going to share the big news. I'm going to share, we decided to do a 1 full day program where we're going to share our, I would call them no-nonsense ideas to help you generate immediate business so that you close the year stronger without having to invest in additional programs. So in that program, in that workshop, during that day, you'll be able to walk away with some simple tools and strategies that you can apply immediately and help you get more sales. Stay with us.
2 sales tips are coming. That's great, Ramez. Imagine for 1 minute, you're coming up to your Christmas holiday, or whatever break you're taking over that period when it goes quiet, and instead of being worried because you've missed your targets, you've hit your targets, you're having a great break, you're refreshed, you're with the family. Now here's the other thing. Imagine again that you're moving into the new year, and I'd like to picture for me 1 minute. You're on a race. You're on the starters blocks doing 100 meters. And as you're down there ready to go, which is the new year, somebody goes shooting past you. Because you know what? They started the race before December. They started the race before Christmas even came. And our goal here is that anyone that works with us not only gets results before the close of the year, they're already sprinting when it comes to January.
The opposite also comes to mind. Imagine if someone doesn't do that, if someone actually procrastinates and says, well, maybe I've heard this, or I don't know, I'm kind of giving up hope on themselves and missing out on this boat, or on this, I would say, shortcut to 2018 or towards next year. Just a very simple note. This is going to be a full day seminar, and I'll tell you something, it will sell out. So one of the things that you want to do is go ahead and reserve your spot right now before somebody else is. Actually, the only risk of you not subscribing or reserving your spot is maybe your competitors are sitting there and it's not you. With our money back guarantee, the only thing you can be missing out on is finishing the year strong and starting next year even stronger. So until next time, sell more, sell faster, and profitably. Look, we'd like to give you 2 free tips as a way to say thank you for having watched this video thus far. And I got with me here Phil. And Phil, can you share with us a quick tip that people can do right now after they watch this video, regardless if they decide to join our program or not? What can they do right now to help them make more sales?
Ramez, and this is the perfect example of what you can do right now that people just don't do. And this is something that's going to show up not just in your business, but in your life. And it's simply called the How Are You phone call.
How are you phone call?
How are you phone
How
call?
are you?
How are you? Now, the secret is you ring somebody. It could be a client, could be a friend, could be a family member, could be someone who's referred you business. But you ring them up and basically say, how are you? Now, the secret is you cannot sell.
So I don't call them to say, look, do you want to buy something?
No.
No selling.
No.
Just, hi, how are you? You get it? Hi, how are you?
And the one side of this is they're going to think, oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Nicer than thinking about me. That's really nice. The minute you move into sales mode, that's gone away because you're trying to take money.
Right.
On the flip side, because you're suddenly in their face, though, a number of things can, oh my gosh, I haven't seen them for a while, I've got business for them. So one is the immediate chance. The other thing is they will then start to think about you for the next couple of days or week, whereas they may have forgotten about you for the last couple of years, which increases the chance of you getting referred business. And you know what, there's one example that jumps into my mind, was an old client of mine called Vanita Kapoor. And Vanita actually rang me and she said, I did a How Are You phone call, Phil, called an old client. And the client said to me, thank goodness you called. She said, why? He says, because I'd lost your telephone number, I lost my phone, I lost my telephone number, I lost your email, and I had all this business for you, and I couldn't get hold of you, and you've just rung me.
Wow. Well, imagine if that didn't happen. I mean, so many times it even happened to me, calling up on clients, friends in many ways, because clients become friends, and then just to say hi, and then more doors open up, 100%.
Yeah. So I know you've had success because you've shared it in the past, but for the sake of these 2 tips, I think you've got a tip for us as well, Ramez. Yeah?
I mean, yeah, one thing that people can do very, very quickly, Phil, is really, everybody, in order to sell, you have to have people to sell to. And a lot of time, having an appointment with someone is a prerequisite to show up. You don't show up to someone and say, I'm gonna show you something. So what I found happens is people actually, are scared of the phone, and they don't know when to call people. They wait. They think that maybe if they don't want to disturb others. It's a very noble thing. It's a very noble, I would say, reason why not to call people, at the best time. But normally, if you call people at 10, 11 o'clock in the morning, guess what happened? You don't find them. They're engaged in meetings, and then you call, and you get frustrated. And then a day goes by, a week goes by, a month goes by. So people have to have a different way of reaching people. So I shared this one idea once with an organization that's trying to organize an event for VIP, top-notch CEO, VPs of different organizations, and their team they're from a bank or from an insurance industry, contacting people within the bank. And they're calling these people, they're not answering. They're not, they're not reachable. So the idea I gave this one VP, I said, when is your team calling? And he said, during normal business hours. I said, you know what, put yourself in the shoes of these executives. If you call me at 9, I'm busy. How about if you call me at 8:30, 8:15, 8:30? He's like, what do you mean? It's like, well, where are you at that time? He goes, I'm in the office. I was like, well, if you're in the office, do you have any meetings? He goes, no. What are you doing? You're relaxed. If you call at that time, I bet you what's going to happen. So he called me up within the next 2 days. He goes, Ramez, we filled all the spots we wanted. Thank you so much for this idea. On the opposite side, people are scared to call people late in the day. So around, let's say, 5:36, because, people are leaving. I had an entire sales team, 12 different people in my office. We were doing a training. I told them, you know what, guys? You have customers right now that are leaving. It was 5:15, 5:30. And you probably think, maybe I shouldn't bother them. So we're going to go call them right now, and you're going to ask for whatever deals were pending. And within 20 minutes, we sold $1 million dirham worth of orders. And that is in the plastic packaging type of the business. 1 million dirham. It was 12 people. I think like 7 of them were able to reach the decision makers, and boom, converted those deals right then and there. So just make the calls, guys. Find the best time to make the calls, and it's really about persistency.
But you know what I love about this whole workshop idea, Ramez, is we're bringing 2 strategies that are in your mind and my mind. They both work, and we're bringing them together to give to you.
Absolutely.